Good morning, class, and my name is Miss Wyatt, and I'm going to be teaching you about the respiratory system today. And these are my students, Robert. This is my other student, Keelan. And this is my student, Kevin. Okay, today we're going to be covering ACOS Standard 8 in the 5th grade, and it's when you learn about the respiratory, circulatory, exhalatory systems. And today we're going to go over the respiratory system. And our essential question for today is, what is the function of our respiratory system? So I want all of you to think about that. What is the function of our respiratory system? Why do we have one? The respiratory system's function is to deliver oxygen and removes carbon dioxide waste from the body. Air enters through the body through the mouth or the nose, and air passes through the pharynx and the trachea and the bronchial tubes to the lungs. The diaphragm is a sheet of muscle. Forces air into and out of the lungs. Tiny blood vessels called capillaries are in the alveoli, take oxygen from the air and transport it into the cells. They also remove carbon dioxide waste from the blood. This gas leaves the body when you exhale. Lungs are the main organ in this system. Okay? Now I want y'all to please take notes, and you see that I have your terms in bold. So we have the respiratory system. It takes oxygen from the air that you breathe. You have your nasal passage, or your nose, which is part of the head with nostrils. Your mouth is the orifice for eating and breathing. Your pharynx is the cavity that connects mouth and nasal passages with the esophagus. Trachea allows air and food into your body, and it is the tube that allows these things into your body. Bronchial tube, the two tubes that allow air to come in and out of your lungs. You have lungs, which are big sacs that hold and distribute the oxygen. Your diaphragm is located at the bottom of your chest. Blood vessels are tubes that carry blood. Alveoli are grape-like sacs. Oxygen is a good gas. Inhale, breathe in. Carbon dioxide is a gas, which is a bad gas. And exhale means breathe out. We will go back to these to make sure that you get your terms written in your notebook so you can use this as a study guide.
Excuse me, Miss Wyatt, what is the difference between oxygen and carbon dioxide?
Well, Robert, oxygen and carbon dioxide both are gases. However, we breathe in, oxygen comes into our bodies, and it helps our cells regenerate, and it helps us breathe, and we use it for nutrients, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide leaves our body because it is very harmful for our bodies. However, plants can use carbon dioxide in photosynthesis.
Thank you. I really never knew the difference between those two gases.
Okay, well, Robert had a really good question. I'm glad I could clear that up for him. Okay, we're going to learn a little bit more about our respiratory system. Okay, here's a picture of the human body. We also have, what do you know about the respiratory system? And this is the human respiratory system. Now I'm going to have Keelan come to the board and help me out and help me teach everybody what the respiratory system is about. So Keelan, is there anything on the board that you recognize, or is there anyone that you can name? And then we'll see if you're right.
Well, I think I can name a few of them.
Okay.
Well, this one for sure I know is the trachea. Right here, the long tube coming down his throat. Not his throat, but his, from his neck to chest.
Right.
Oh, right.
Trachea. Keelan, good job. Is there any other ones you can name?
Well, I can name this one because obviously I know it's the right lung.
Your big lungs.
Miss White, I'm really having a hard time depicting what is this picture, what they're trying to tell me to identify right here at the bottom.
Okay, well, let's look at this, Keelan. They are pointing at these things right here.
Oh, the bones.
Yes, that protect our ribs. So what would these be called?
Oh, ribs. You just gave it away.
Sorry.
So ribs are protecting our lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell this one is part of that, the heart. And, what else do I know? This one is oral cavity. And I think this one is the bronchi. And we have the larynx. And that's the only two I really know, Miss White.
Okay. You also, you have the pharynx, which is right here, kind of like close to your Adam's apple. You also have your nasal passage, where you're supposed to breathe in and out of your nasal passage so it can collect particles that like necessarily your mouth doesn't. That's why they always tell you to breathe in and out your nose, because it has a better filter system than your mouth.
Oh, that's why my track coach tells me to breathe in my nose and out of my mouth.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss White.
You're welcome. Thank you, Keelan. All right, now I'm going to be calling some other students to the board to see if y'all could move the correct name to the picture. Okay, remember we have been learning about this. It's your respiratory system and all of the functions and all of the organs that are in your respiratory system. And let me just ask a question. Who can tell me what is the main organ of our respiratory system?
Miss White, I think I can help you with that.
Okay.
Well, I think the main organ for the respiratory system is the lung.
Okay. So you can drag it up there.
So you want me to identify
Mm-hmm.
the parts?
Yeah.
The respiratory system. The lung, I mean, it's a lot of pictures of the lung, but this one is more distinct. Is that correct?
Yes.
Then ribs right here.
Right. Just like Robert was talking about earlier.
And we have the trachea, which would be right here. And we have the tubes. Then we have the nasal cavity. We was talking to Keelan about that.
Right.
What else do we have? The diaphragm.
Remember, the diaphragm is the big sheet sac that's underneath your ribs that helps push the air in and out of your lungs.
Diaphragm right here. The larynx. Is it right? Oh, here it is, right here, is it?
Then you have your pharynx and your bronchia. Good job. Thank you, Kevin.
All right.
Okay, guys, let's see. We can check what Kevin has done, and Kevin would be right. Good job, Kevin. Thank you for paying attention today. Okay? Now, it says a villi or air sacs. It is through these tiny ball chambers that oxygen moves into the blood. Each sac is surrounded by blood vessels and capillaries. The blood vessels carry oxygen to the cells where it is needed. So we also learned that oxygen is needed where? Oxygen is needed. Where do the capillaries take the oxygen? Kevin. Where do the capillaries take the oxygen?
They carry the oxygen to the cells.
Good job, Kevin. They carry oxygen to the cells. So they don't carry the carbon dioxide to the cells, do they, Robert?
No, ma'am.
Because where does carbon dioxide go?
It goes to the plants.
Because we breathe it what?
We breathe it out of our bodies.
Right. Good job, Robert. I'm going to call on some students, and we are going to we're going to learn how the lungs are inflated by breathing. Okay? Now, I want y'all to just try. I'm going to call on your name, and you can try to see if you can resuscitate him. So what you'll do is you'll move these things and hit resuscitate. And either the poor little guy will either flatline and die, or either you will get him breathing again. I'm going to move this down so it won't be anybody's way. And Kevin, will you come up first?
Yes,
please?
ma'am. Okay. So when we put his respiratory system together so he can start breathing. Okay, let me see. I know this belongs right here. And on the left lobe, obviously belongs on the left side. The right on the right side. I think the trachea goes right here. The diaphragm goes right here. Tubes right here. And the larynx right there.
Okay, guys, let's see if Kevin's right. Resuscitate. Now, boys, y'all stop laughing. Everybody gets a second turn, or everybody's going to get to try. Kevin, your man died. You didn't get to resuscitate him, and I'm so sorry. So I hope that y'all were watching, because maybe someone picked out what Kevin might have done wrong. Okay, let's hit the reset button, and let's wait. And let me call on someone else. Maybe Keelan can come and do the right.
Don't help me out, man.
Yeah, Keelan. Kevin needs your help. Okay, Keelan, thank you for coming up here and helping Kevin out.
Well, I think Kevin did everything right but one thing. Not Kevin, Robbie. No, that was Kevin.
No, it was Kevin.
My bad, Kevin. I'm kidding, man. I think he did everything right. The diaphragm is right here.
What does the diaphragm do?
Help the push the air in out.
Yeah.
The lungs. Trachea. I think he forgot to put the larynx right here, right? We'll see. Tubes. Right here.
All right, let's see if Keelan can resuscitate. Yay! Keelan resuscitated the guy. Great job, Keelan. So, our central question is, what is the function of the respiratory system? Robert, can you help me out with that question? What's the function? Why do we have a respiratory system? What does it do for us?
Helps us to breathe, so we can breathe in clean, oxygen, and we also contribute to the plants by them giving them carbon dioxide when we release it from our body, so they can perform photosynthesis.
Right. So the main function of our respiratory system is to breathe. We want to keep our cells hydrated. We want to keep growing. We want to keep ourselves alive. So we have to breathe. Trees give us oxygen, and then we breathe it in, and then we breathe out carbon dioxide. So we kind of like help the trees, and the trees and plants help us. Okay, of course, like I said, the respiratory system, it delivers oxygen, and it takes away waste and carbon dioxide from our body. We have our lungs and our diaphragm, which is underneath the lungs, which forces the air into and out of the lungs. So I want to thank y'all for being so attentive today in class. Kevin, thank you very much for helping me out today. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Keelan, thank you for helping me today and resuscitating the man on the table.
No problem, Ms. White.
And Robert, thank you for asking such a great question about carbon dioxide and oxygen and their differences.
No problem, no problem. Willing to help you at any time.
And that concludes our class today about learning about the respiratory system. Thank you.
Bye, Ms. White. We love you.
Bye. Love y'all too. Have a great summer.